To get the information associated with the largest value, use the index match and large functions. This is the generic formula. Return array is a range from which to get the associated data. Lookup array is a range from which to get the nth largest value. N, position of the largest value to look for. Basically, this formula uses the large function to find the nth largest value in a set of data. That value is passed to the index match function to get the associated data. For example, get the name of students who got first, second, and third ranks. Enter the ranks in D2, D3, and D4. These values are the k values which should be passed to the large function. In E2, use this formula to get the highest score. Use absolute reference for array. K is 1, the formula returns the highest score. Copy the formula down. The formula returns the second and third highest scores. Use this formula to get the name of the student who got the highest score. Where A2 to A13 is the return array which contains names, B2 to B13 is the lookup array which contains scores, and D2 is the position k. The value in D2 is passed as the k argument to the large function. It is 1, so the large function returns the highest score 98. This value is passed as the lookup value to the match function. Lookup array is B2 to B13 and match type is 0, exact match. The match function searches for 98 in the range B2 to B13 and returns the relative position of that item in the range which is 4. This value is passed as the row number to the index function. The index function returns the value in the fourth position from the return array A2 to A13, which is rows. Copy the formula down. The formula returns the names of students who got second and third highest scores. These formulas work with data sets which do not have duplicate values. If there are duplicate values, the formulas return wrong results. For example, here the first and second largest scores are the same, 98. The large function returns the same value for first and second largest values. Match function returns the position of the first found match, so the formula returns the first found match twice, which is rows. Use this formula to fix this issue. The lookup value for the match function is 1. To get the lookup array, two arrays are multiplied. This is the first array. All the values in B2 to B13 are compared to the values returned by the large function. An array of true false is returned. Large function returns 98. The values in 4th and 9th position are 98. So true is returned in those positions. This is the second array. The countif function with an expanding range reference checks if a given item is already in the top list. An expanding row reference in Excel defines a range that expands as a formula is copied down. This is done by mixing absolute and relative references, making the first cell an absolute reference and the last cell a relative reference. Begin the expanding range in the row above the formula G1 to avoid a circular reference. Countif counts number of times each value in the range A2 to A13 appears in the range created by expanding row reference. If the count is 0, it returns true. An array of true-false is returned. Since this is the first value, an array of all trues is returned. Multiply these two arrays. The multiplication operation changes the logical values, true and false, to 1 and 0. Multiplying by 0 always gives 0. So there is 1 only in 4th and 9th position. This array is passed to the match function. The match function searches for 1 in this array and returns the relative position of the first found match, which is 4. Then the index function returns the name in the 4th position, which is rows, in the return array A2 to A13. Copy this formula down. In G3, the value returned by the large function is the same, 98. So the first array is the same. The expanding range reference changes to G$1 colon G2, which returns rows. In the second array, item 4 is false because the name rows is already in the array. When the arrays are multiplied, there is one only in the 9th position. The match function searches for 1 in this array and returns the relative position of the first found match, which is 9. Then the index function returns the name in the 9th position in the return array A2 to A13, which is Cindy. To retrieve data associated with the smallest value, use the index match combination with the small function for the lookup value. This is the generic formula. Small function is used to return the nth smallest value as the lookup value. Rest of the logic is the same. For example, to get the name of the student who scored lowest, use this formula. This is the exact same formula as the highest score, except use the small function in place of large. If the data has duplicate values, use this formula to get the name of the student who got lowest score. To download practice Excel file, please click on the link in the description. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel.